Welcome back to Football Daily for more World Cup build-up, where today we're looking at 10 players set to carry their nation in Qatar. Let's go. 10. André-Franck Zambo Anguissa. After failing to qualify for Russia, Cameroon returns to the World Cup with plenty of quality. Andre Onana looks right at home with Inter Milan. Brentford's Brian Mbeumo has switched allegiances from France, while Eric Choupo-Moting is currently unstoppable, scoring 10 in his last 8 games for Bayern Munich. Cameroon's captain Vincent Aboubakar should also not be forgotten, with 8 goals in 2022 for his country. But above all, André-Franck Zambo Anguissa looks set to shine brightest this winter. The former Fulham man anchors one of Europe's most exciting teams in Napoli. He leads their press and is measured in possession, completing 89.5% of his passes, while his ability to drive from deep helps the side transition from defence into attack. 3 goals and 6 assists in all competitions is further evidence of Anguissa's stunning form, with the 26-year-old the perfect complement to Stanislav Lobotka and Piotr Zielinski in the Naples midfield. Anguissa is on course for a historic campaign in Serie A, where he is still unbeaten. Cameroon fans can only hope he will apply the same winning feeling to the indomitable Lions. 9. Robert Lewandowski. Who else could we have picked for Poland other than their leader and talisman, Robert Lewandowski? Quite simply, Poland may never produce a forward quite like him again. His current tally of 76 goals in 136 caps ranks him as the 11th most prolific international striker ever, and don't bet against him chasing down the legendary Ferenc Puskas in 5th with just 8 goals separating the pair. He may be 34, but Lever has refused to slow down or be affected by a big summer move to Barcelona. On 13 goals in 13 La Liga appearances, no one in the Spanish top flight has taken more shots or hit the target more often. Any critic who doubted his ability to perform outside the Bundesliga has been gravely mistaken. Poland do have other exceptional talent to draw on. Piotr Zielinski is one of the best midfielders in Serie A and crucial to any goals Lewandowski will score. Meanwhile, Szczesny and Milik play week in week out for Juventus, but they all know that if the red and whites are going to upset Mexico and Argentina this winter, Lewandowski is the man they need. 8. Matthew Ryan. Even the most ardent Socceroos fan would admit that the current Australian roster is far from vintage. The golden team of the noughties is long gone, and few give Australia much hope of getting out of a group featuring France, Denmark and Tunisia. Still, Graham Arnold's outfit earned their spot in Qatar by dramatically defeating Peru on penalties thanks to their reserve keeper Andrew Redmayne. His goal line dancing during the playoff shootout propelled the Sydney FC star to cult hero status. However, don't expect to watch him much this winter. That's because the Socceroos' hopes rest with their captain Matthew Ryan. The former Valencia and Brighton stopper has had a difficult few years acting second fiddle at Arsenal and Real Sociedad, but he's back playing regularly with FC Copenhagen this season. He even featured twice in the Champions League for the Danes, keeping a clean sheet and making 2 saves and 2 claims in a draw against Sevilla. In the squad name for Qatar, Ryan is Australia's most capped player, and they'll need to draw on all of his experience if they're going to cause a stir in the Middle East. 7. Enner Valencia. Considering most remember Enner Valencia for scoring just 10 in 68 appearances for West Ham, it might be a surprise to see him carrying his nation, especially with Ecuador boasting the likes of Brighton's Pervis Estupiñán and Moises Caicedo, or by Leverkusen's exciting defender Piero Hincapié. But when it comes to the national team, Valencia reigns supreme. In fact, the 32-year-old will lead out Ecuador not just as their captain, but their all-time top scorer, on 35 goals in 74 caps. That works out at a goal nearly every other game for the South Americans, and he's not messing about for Fenerbahce this term either, on 12 goals in 11 Super League appearances at the time of writing. Valencia is taking 2.7 shots and completing 1.6 dribbles a game, and he also has 4 assists, giving him a who scored rating of 7.8 that no one in Turkey comes close to. He may not be the biggest name at the World Cup, but for Ecuador, he's the only one that matters. Qatar, Senegal and the Netherlands had better take note. 6. Edson Álvarez. Since 2019, Mexico's all-time top scorer Javier Hernandez has been frozen out of the national team. Yet despite finding the net 15 times for LA Galaxy this season, El Tri manager Gerardo Martino recently reiterated there is no room for the 34-year-old in Qatar. It leaves Mexico needing a new idol, although Ajax's Edson Álvarez is quickly filling that void. The North American journalist Ricardo Magallan recently told Sky Sports there is currently no Mexican footballer at his level, and his displays in the Netherlands are testament to that fact. A defensive machine, he has been averaging over 4 tackles and interceptions per 90, making 1.4 blocks and winning 3.9 aerial duels a game too, all figures that rank him among the most combative midfielders in Europe. Equally capable of playing in defence, it's no surprise he was the subject of a late €50 million bid from Chelsea in the summer. That was rejected, but the 25-year-old will get his move soon enough. Until then, his focus will be on finally pushing Mexico past the round of 16, their falling point for 7 straight World Cups. Manage that, and his value might just rocket even higher. 5. Mehdi Taremi. If England are going to avoid a major upset in their opener against Iran, then they should pay close attention to Mehdi Taremi. The 6'2" striker has been prolific throughout his career, be it for Persepolis in his homeland, Al-Gharafa in Qatar, or for FC Porto in Portugal. He joined the Dragons in the summer of 2020 after a blistering campaign for the Primeira Liga Minnows Rio Ave, and has never looked back, netting 49 times across his first 2 campaigns in a blue and white shirt. Now 30, Taremi looks even more potent this season. On 13 goals in 19 appearances, including 5 in the Champions League, his 3.7 shots and 7.5 touches in the opposition penalty area per 90 ranks him as one of the most active forwards in all of Europe. For Iran, his tally of 28 goals in 60 caps is actually bettered by his strike partner Sardar Azmoun. However, the 27-year-old has been in horrible form since leaving Zenit for Bayer Leverkusen 12 months ago, only scoring once from his last 22 shots. With that in mind, Taremi is the man Carlos Queiroz will be counting on in Qatar. 4. Min-jae. We know what you're thinking, how is Song Hyun-min not the one carrying South Korea? After all, he is their captain, main striker, and arguably the greatest Asian player of all time. But aside from the fact Son has only scored in 2 matches for Tottenham all season, disaster has struck the 30-year-old at the worst possible moment. He recently fractured a bone in his face against Marseille and is up against it to recover for South Korea's opener on the 24th of November. Son's tampered preparation only puts more significance on Kim Min-jae's role in Qatar. One of the breakout stars in Europe, the Napoli centre-half has a huge task on his hands, keeping the Uruguayan, Ghanaian and Portuguese attack at bay. However, there is no reason to believe he can't be trusted. The former Fenerbahce man currently ranks 3rd in Serie A for clearances, 2nd for aerial wins and 1st for touches, while his 90% pass success rate displays his supreme confidence on the ball. Kim has been more than comfortable against the cream of Italian football, but now he needs to show it against the best of the rest. 3. Gareth Bale. Gareth Bale is not the player he used to be. Now appearing as a substitute for LAFC, the Real Madrid legend has been quietly preserving his health with Qatar in mind. Leading Wales out for their first World Cup appearance since 1958 will add the finishing touches to his stunning career, especially with rumours rife that retirement could follow. But as his last gasp header in the MLS Cup final proved, there is fire in the Welsh Dragon yet. It was just his 3rd goal for LAFC, however in 2022 he scored in every other game for Wales, taking his record to 40 goals in 108 caps. That included a sensational double against Austria in the World Cup playoffs, then the winner against Ukraine to seal qualification. Afterwards, The Guardian declared, "What can be said now is that nobody has ever achieved more in a Wales shirt." Rob Page does have plenty of talent to choose from, such as the Forest pair of Neco Williams and Brennan Johnson, and a rejuvenated Joe Rodon, but Bale is the big player for the big occasion, and it doesn't get any greater than the World Cup. 2. Granit Xhaka. The grand rejuvenation of Granit Xhaka could not have come at a better time for Switzerland. The central midfielder has turned his Arsenal career around to become one of their first names on the team sheet, now tasked by Mikel Arteta with being more attacking than ever. He has 3 goals from 4 shots on target in the league, has posted 3 assists and ranks just behind Ben White among the regular starters at the Gunners for passes into the final third. And 14 games in, Xhaka has received just 2 yellow cards. Who could have imagined that? The 30-year-old also caps the Switzerland side many are tipping to do well in Qatar. They finished above the European champions Italy in their qualifying group, then recovered from a slow start in the Nations League to reel off victories against Portugal, Spain and the Czech Republic. At the back they're in good hands thanks to Jan Sommer plus the excellent Fabian Schär and Manuel Akanji. But with Xherdan Shaqiri past his prime, plus Dennis Zakaria struggling for game time at club level, Xhaka's steely presence in the middle has never been so important. 1. Sadio Mané. When Senegal have needed him most, Sadio Mané has delivered. In the final of the 2021 African Cup of Nations, the former Liverpool star stepped up to smash home the decisive penalty, one of the best you will ever see. And when the same treatment was required in the World Cup playoffs, Mané didn't disappoint. Egypt will be happy to see the back of him. His efforts mean Senegal head to Qatar at the peak of their powers. Currently at their highest ever FIFA ranking of 18th, the Lions of Teranga look best placed to end Africa's wait for a world champion. One slight concern is the poor form of their captain Kalidou Koulibaly and his Chelsea colleague Edouard Mendy. Mane though couldn't be playing better. Showing no signs of adjustment issues since swapping Liverpool for Bayern Munich, the 30-year-old has bagged 11 goals in 23 appearances for his new employers. His shots per game have never been higher, while he is continuing to create for his teammates with 4 assists. He will almost certainly add silverware to his collection in Bavaria, however take Senegal deep into a World Cup, and that could ultimately be his defining legacy. Fingers crossed his recent injury scare doesn't hold him back. So that was our pick of 10 players we reckon will be carrying their nation in Qatar, but who do you think we've missed? Let us know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you never miss any of our amazing content over the World Cup period. We'll see you next time.